What's going on? Big A coming at you with another video. And over the New Year period, I watched season 4 of Cobra Kai. This show cannot stop winning. It was on YouTube Red for 2 seasons, went away for a little bit, came back on Netflix, and it was just as good. They did a season last year, or the year before even, and then they did season in 2021 as well towards the end. Hope we get a season 5 at the end of 2022. But it's just so good, man. Firstly, the fights. I've got to shout out to the actors and say respect for, yeah, just doing all the fights yourself. Like, that obviously is a bit of stunt work in there as well. But seeing just the actors do it just kind of like puts you in the story more, makes you feel it more, makes you care more. And there's a lot of fighting in the show. There's some really cool fights. There's a fight at like a little prom party between Sam, Miguel, Robbie, and Tori. They have like a wicked fight. And obviously you've got the tournament as well. That's also a dope fight as well. On top of that, they're just fighting everywhere, man, and just doing like loads of it, and just enough respect to them because it's all very entertaining stuff. You know what I mean? And it's not like it's easy to do. Yeah, some of the punches and kicks are telegraphed and whatnot, but at the end of the day, it's just got that Karate Kid flavor to it, and you gotta love that. What I really liked about this season is Sam and Miguel. They both kind of adopted the opposite styles that they were originally taught, and it just had this whole thing of they're able to adapt, whereas Johnny and Daniel are like stuck in their ways. They can't really adapt. It's kind of their way or the highway. Whereas those two, they kind of like were able to take on qualities from both. And I think it was interesting to see both Daniel and Johnny be threatened by their respective students taking on kind of like a different style and adopting it. But like towards the end, obviously, they got kind of understood. They understood. They got more into it, and were like, "All right, cool. You want to use both? Then use both." It's just stuff like that I wasn't expecting the show to do, but they just do that cool kind of stuff, man. It always keeps me watching and like, oh, okay, this is where it's going. This is what's actually happening. That's sweet, man. Man, they even gave Hawk a redemption arc. Eli, when the show started out, wuss, wimp, gets bullied, has a bit of a cleft lip thing going on, turns into Hawk over the season, and you kind of like that. But then in later seasons, becomes a bit of a dick. You know what I mean? And he's just a bit of a bully, breaking his own friend's bloody arm for God's sake. You know what I mean? And then he's been so bad that this season he got a comeuppance. But then he was able to learn from that and understand that he can still be him. He doesn't need the mohawk to be him. That's not who he is. He can still be himself. He can still be confident in himself. All that is just like a facade, so to speak. If he truly believes in himself and truly repents for kind of all the bad things he's done to people, then yeah, he can like embrace a new him and be confident in himself. And I thought that was another great little story there for a side character as well. He's not even one of the main characters for a side character. Another story is that they brought Anthony into it more. Anthony, even Daniel's son, into it way more, and it was interesting to see his son be the bully, whereas Daniel was the kid being bullied. I thought that was a great spin on it. They keep on they spin so many things, so many plates, but they're spinning them in the opposite directions that we originally saw them spinning, and it's just like, again, didn't expect it. I didn't think there'd be this new kid Kenny, and then you had the whole thing with him and Anthony. And kind of like Kenny then going to Cobra Kai because Kenny's brother knew Robbie from when they were in juvenile hall together. It was just like it was just so many connections, and yeah, again, it was fun to see. It was fun to see that play out, and like how Daniel reacted to that when he found out. And again, it's not even a main character; it's a side character, but they've kind of reinvented the old story, but bringing it into modern times with kids these days, and this whole like cyberbullying thing, which didn't come across as corny. Because I mean, part of the reason why is I think the kids in the show do what kids do, which is like they do bad stuff sometimes. They swear. They do things where the parents aren't around. A kid when the parents aren't around is different from a kid when the parents are around. And this show plays on that loads, and it's more realistic and it's less corny than some of your other shows that try to do that. And I think I just think it's brilliant the way that they pulled it off and the way they did it. Finally, got Terry Silva back. The moment this guy ties that ponytail, he is back, but he's not the crazy, over the top, cocaine fueled Terry Silva that we had back in the day. No, this is the calm, collected, but spiteful Terry Silva that we get in this show. And he's a joy to watch him increase together, like two evil villains twirling the mustaches, coming up with plans. You know what I mean? It was just really good. It's the show's so over the top, especially with its villains, that it's just too great. And it's just been another good season. I think it can go for probably a few more seasons, but man, everything about it just pays respect to the source material. It's funny. Like all the actors are so much better than anyone ever gave them credit for being in the Karate Kid films and all that. Or the new young actors, they do their thing as well. And there's so many things going on, but somehow the show's able to keep track of it all and it doesn't get too messy. And man, it's just another killer season. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what's going to come next in the show as well. It is one of the best in universe reboots. There's no doubt about that. If you've not seen any of Cobra Kai, you need to get on Netflix and watch it because what you're doing it's just so much fun. It's just so good. It's kind of corny. It's kind of funny. It's kind of goofy, but it's great as well. Like it's a great time. It's a great thing to watch and I just love it, man. Let me know as to what you thought about Cobra Kai season 4 if you've seen it. Do all the things and stick around and click on another video.